presence for granted. So once again, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming to today's session. Please confirm that you can hear me. Please use the Q&A section to confirm that you can hear me. All right, so if you can hear me, please confirm that you can hear me in the Q&A box. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear. Oh, all right. All right, I believe everybody can hear me. All right, that's good. Okay. Okay. So once again, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming to this really, important webinar session. We're going to be talking about a trading tool today, the AHFM flow system. The AHFM flow system is a good trading indicator that we want to expose to you in the place of trading today. We want to talk about, this really important indicator, that can help you, improve your entry into the market, and as well, also improve how you look at your trades and how you eventually decide on what you want to trade in the place of trading. Now, one major thing that you need to look out for, especially when trading with indicators or trading tools, is for you to understand, in the first place, these things are not self-sufficient. That's a mistake that a lot of people make, especially in the place of trading. You pick up a trading indicator, you pick up a trading tool, and then you believe that that particular tool can be enough to make your decision. You believe that that particular tool can be something that you can base all your decision on. You pick up a FIB, you pick up a MACD, you pick up an RSI, you pick up, mention it, an oscillator, and then you attach it to your screen, and then you begin to make decision based off that particular tool in of itself. Let me say something to you. Those things are not self-sufficient, which means in of themselves, they cannot do what you are supposed to do for you, which means in of itself, it cannot analyze the market. There is no indicator that can analyze the market in of itself for you. At best, indicators will use a set of, commands, a set of mathematics to make some decisions for you. It wouldn't know when something is going on in the market. It wouldn't know if there's a new information causing, something else to take place in the place of trading. It wouldn't be able to read if President Biden is now considering to drop out of the, election race or something like that. Indicators cannot read the market. They can't read information. They don't know what exactly is happening. That's for you to decide. So trading tools, trading indicators, in of itself, you don't want to see them as self-sufficient. You don't want to see them as foolproof. You don't want to see them as, omnipotent. Like, as long as I have this guy, I don't need to know any other thing. No, it wouldn't work that way. It wouldn't work that way. I need you to understand something. Trading indicators would always work best when you know how to combine them. When you know the things to do, to make them work better. And what do we mean by, helping them work better? It means you must still understand what trading is. It also means you must still understand how to do market analysis. It also means you must still prioritize the place of conducting research. That's what it means. It means in of yourself, you must still know what it means, to decide to buy or to sell. You must still know what it means to make decisions in the market. You must still know what it means to understand drivers, catalyst of moves in the market. It is when you've made the decisions to either buy or sell, you can then pick up a trading tool or a trading indicator, as the case may be, and then use that as a benchmark to enter into that direction or into that prediction in the market. And that is to also say, even the flow system that we're offering to you or we've brought to you today, we also don't want you to see it as, self-sufficient. We don't want you to see it as long as I have the flow system like this, I don't want to do any other thing again. I just want to be pressing buy or sell whenever I see a signal. No, absolutely not. You still have to combine it with a set of analysis in the place of trading. And that means you must learn how to conduct market research, which is where we're going to be starting from in our discussions with you today. You see, we want to start from the fact that, there are 3 different sessions in the market, and you must also know that you have to conduct your analysis within some, interesting time frames. And it is key for you to understand that research is always going to be the beginning of whatever you're going to be doing in trading. You must always research what is available in the market. You must always try to see what the current headlines are. You want to see what the current drivers in the market are. You want to see what is moving the market today. You want to see the big story. And the only way to do that is to understand that you always need to be conversant with the different sessions that we have in the market, when they open and when you need to do your research. For now, we're working with this portion of the calendar. This works from the last Sunday in March this year all the way to the last Sunday in the month of October. All right. So this is what we have. And you can see that the Asian market itself opens by 10 and it closes by 9 right now. And then the European session, which is also known as the London session, opens by 8 a.m. and closes by 5. And at the same time, the New York section right now opens by 1, closes by 10. And it is also important for you to know that if you're going to be trading any of this session, it is imperative for you to have started your research at least 2 hours before. Even if you cannot afford 2 hours research before the opening of a new session, at least afford yourself an hour to see what has happened in the previous session going into a new session. What is being talked about? What are people discussing? What is the driver already existing in the market? Is this driver expected to continue? Is there any new factor that can change the positions of the market? Is there anything available, in terms of market movement or on the economic calendar that can shift the attention from what was driving it in the previous session to a new session? So even if you cannot afford yourself, at least a 2 hours research time frame before the opening of a new session, you should try to at least afford yourself an hour, at least, which means the European session that currently opens by 8, at least by 7 a.m., you should be up already reading information, immersing yourself in information about what is currently driving the market, what is the big story, what is the big catalyst, what is that thing that the market is holding on to trading today. And also, the American session opens by, 1 p.m. It means you must have started also, at least from 12. If you cannot afford 2 hours, you must afford yourself at least an hour. So when you do research, the purpose of conducting, market research is such that you're able to get some perspective ahead of your trading day. And that's one thing we always try to offer you, on the AHFM Telegram channel. You see, every day we try to offer you a different perspective, a way to which we see the market, presenting it to you such that you can also read it and get what you need from there. If you've read the session today, at least what we posted for the American session today, you'd see that one of the things we talked about today was the fact that dollar is one of the currencies still holding steady ahead of the session today. The dollar continues to hold steadier going into the final stretch of the week. At some point on Wednesday, it looked like the dollar was bound to break down further. You know, the dollar lost so much in recent times. You know, we've seen a couple of bad data from ISM, ADP to NFP was also poor. And then we had CPI also falling a little bit lower. And then we also had some dovish Fed alongside. So clearly the dollar lost so much value with the USD index falling as much as 103.30 this week. You know, and this is what this particular writer was talking about. It looked like the dollar was bound to break down further, but a strong reversal yesterday is setting up for a continued move today, with the greenback keeping steadier across board so far. And this justifies the presence of the dollar as, you know, the strongest currency in the market right now. The USD is currently the strongest currency in the market. It's number one, although not direct catalyst to why the dollar is currently the strongest. But for one thing we can see is the technical level on the USD index, the support level that we have, you know, on the chart, is providing some elements of, you know, support for the asset. Look at it here. A very interesting support level, you know, around this point, stopped price. So having crashed for like a couple of days, you can see this movement lower. You can see what happened somewhere around here. Price started struggling, and then what followed was price rebounding. Up until Wednesday, the dollar was still losing value, up until Wednesday, until we saw a change in market direction. And then the dollar started gaining value, and then that has continued into today. And that was what that write-up was trying to explain, the presence of how dollar was able to change its fortune from almost crashing lower to rebounding in the market. And that had continued into the session today. And then if you look at this, so if you read this, you then see what exactly this person was talking about. It says, but a strong reversal yesterday is setting up for a continued move lower, with the greenback keeping steady across the board thus far. Of note, pound USD is facing a strong rejection after a brief push above the 1.300 mark this week. Yes, we'll talk about that in a brief moment. The pair has fallen past this. These are all technical languages. Let me read. Yes, besides that, the softer risk mood amid all the chaos from the global IT outage is helping to pin down, you know, the Aussie and the Kiwi as well. AUD USD is down 0.2%, and NZD USD is down about 0.3%. So currently, we could see that the dollar is posting gains in the market, you know, strongest currency on the board. NZD trading as the weakest currency on the session today. But eventually, when you look at what the current market sentiment is saying, you know, we're currently moving away from the typical risk off we've seen since the beginning of the week. You know, we're starting to, you know, move away from, you know, current trajectories. But let's read this. Let's read what we have on the Telegram channel today. You know, it says somewhere up here, the sell-off mode in the market is still in contention on the day, right? With equities moving lower and risk assets performing poorly on the board. Although we don't have any expressive moves considering the negative market yet, but please pay attention. It says the US dollar is the only notable mover for now. USD index recovered from 103.30 to about 104.00 today. Pounds USD is approaching 1.2900 after breaking above 1.300 on Monday. Sorry, on Wednesday. AUD USD looks to break below 0.6700, while USD JPY pushes above 157.400. Clearly talking about the current exploit of the US dollar in the market. And then he also says somewhere down here, retail sales miss, add some pressure for pounds this morning. While pound CHF is down 39 pips to this value, pounds JPY has also dropped about 100 pips to this value. Retail sales for card with expectations pinned at minus 0.5% is also high. Traders need to pay attention. You see, the purpose of reading information is such that you get a perspective of what is happening before getting to the chart. So I can already see, oh, okay, we've had risk on for a couple of days, nothing so expressive today, but amongst everything going on today, it looks like dollar is the decent mover on the board. Dollar is strong, stronger against pound, stronger against JPY, stronger against AUD. We're seeing this. We're also seeing that retail sales made pounds a weak currency today. And we're also on the pathway of seeing that CAD also had a resale sales scheduled for today by, I think, 1:30 p.m. or thereabout. The purpose of seeing all of this is to shape your attention, shape your understanding of the market before even getting to look at the chart. Okay, so now I have some, information I could possibly work with. I want to go to the chart, right? I want to see some things on the chart. Now I know that attention is on dollar today. So I know that, I know that his attention is on dollar today. I also know that dollar is stronger against pounds. Pounds had a retail sales miss today. So I want to see some things, in relation to the movement of the dollar this morning. Let's start with pounds USD. So definitely I'm looking for downside. Oh, look at this. Pounds USD had just tested 1.2900, according to what we mentioned on, the Telegram channel as well. As at that time in the morning, it was not yet at 1.29, it was somewhere around here, but price has, completed its move to 1.2900. That was really interesting. But yes, the pounds is moving lower, bad data, strong pound, strong USD. And then we're looking for what to do. What can we do in this sense? That is why we're introducing to you the flow system as a tool that you can use to get, high probability entry into the Forex market. Like I introduced the session, like I told you, it is not expected to stand on its own, which means you don't expect it to do analysis for you. You still have to do your analysis. When you're done with your analysis, you then look for the flow system to offer you, insights into how you can possibly, enter into your positions. Now let's look at something. The flow system in the first place comes with, two major factors that you need to understand. Number one, it comes with a background color, which can either be green or red. But look at what it says, something that is standing out about the colors. It says if the background on the flow system is green, the bullish bias is confirmed. The question is, which bullish bias is being confirmed in the first place? It didn't say if the background is green, you have a bullish bias, full stop. It says the bullish bias is confirmed, which means you must already hold a bullish bias. When you then get to the flow system and you can find a green background, that's a confirmation for you. So without holding a bullish bias already, getting to the flow system and finding a green chart is like offering you like 50% confidence in what you're seeing. But when you already have a bullish bias already formed on your own, from the information you have in the market, and then when you get to the flow system, you can also find a green background, that's a confirmation. It also says if the background is red, the bearish bias is confirmed, which means also if your intention is to sell or if your direction on the market is to look for further downside, if you get to the flow system and you can find a red background, It is confirming your bias in the market. So one major thing that the flow system can offer you is a bias confirmation. Your bias confirmation, which means it can save you from some bad trades. Which means, assets that you just want to buy, just randomly, you can get to the flow system and flow system is showing you a different color. You're like, oh, I need to wait. I feel like maybe it's not yet time for me to enter into this particular direction yet. And then when you have the confirmation of your bias in the market, it then comes with a way to which you can use it, to enter into your trade. Number one, open your buy trade once the next bullish candle closes above the trigger line. There's something called the trigger line. We're going there right now. Where it says you should open your buy trade once the next bullish candle. It didn't say once any kind of candle. Once the next bullish candle closes above the trigger line. Because you already hold a bullish bias, the flow system has confirmed the bias, then a way to enter into that position is for you to wait for the next bullish candle to close above the trigger line. Or you could also wait for a flow system signal because it also brings signal. But a way to which you could be efficient with it in a situation where the signal lags is you can always look to enter into a buy trade when the next bullish candle closes above the trigger line when your bullish bias is confirmed. It is important. And then for a sell, it is simply you looking forward to the next bearish candle closing below the trigger line. So you're expected to look for a sell when you've confirmed your bearish bias, with a red background. When you find the next bearish candle closing below the trigger line, we expect you to look for, an entry for a sell into the market. And let me tell you this, the flow system is, something that can be bent to your own preference. Let me say this, the time frame 1 hour on the flow system is not rigid. What this means is it is not it's not a law that you should always have your chart on H1 to use it. If you want to scalp, you can scalp with the flow system, taking your flow system to a smaller time frame. Absolutely. If you want to day trade or intraday trade, you can still do it with the flow system because the flow system in itself is not the one taking the trade. It's not the one leading you. You are leading yourself with your analysis. The flow system is only adding the bit of the right entry, high probability entry into the market. So the time frames part is not rigid to the point where you say, I can only use 1 hour. No. Can be adjusted to your own will. Which means even if you want to swing with the flow system, you can swing with it on an higher time frame. You can. You can. You can. I don't have so much time again, but let's just make up some things. This is how a green background of the flow system will present itself. We're going there now, where it presents itself this way, and this is how the red background presents itself. So the colors are quite evident. You cannot miss it. All right. This is what we mean by, green background and the red background on the flow system. And when we talk about bullish candle or bearish candle, the bullish candle or bearish candle is not limited to color. It depends on the color of the chart you're using, which means I'm not going to say green and red. I'm going to say candle that is representing an increase in price and candles representing a fall in price. Because some people might not have a chart that is green and red. So please don't focus on bullish candle or bearish candle being green and red. A bullish candle is simply a candle that represents an increase in price, whatever the color may be, and a bearish candle is a candle that represents a fall in price, whatever the color may be. Before we talk about installing the flow system, let's quickly just go through, the chart, see what I'm talking about. Okay, let me start with this. So yes, this is what we mean by, bull candle and bear candle. So please, the color part is not so important. So when we say if your bullish bias is confirmed, you need to wait for the next bullish candle to close above the trigger line. We're not saying a green candle per se. Whatever color that you're using to represent your bull candle is the one that needs to close above the trigger line. And when you're looking for a sell and you've confirmed your bearish bias in the market with a red background, you also need your bearish candle, whatever the color may be, to also close below, the trigger line. Stick around. There's still going to be some tips we're going to talk about, after discussing some of the main things for now. But yes, let's insert our flow system. Insert. We'll talk about installation soon, but insert custom flow. Good. In the first place, we've had, some really nice, upside moves on the flow system for a buy. Some really nice signals for, a buy on the flow system. In recent times, we've seen the flow system give us, some really, really, interesting buy directions on, this particular asset. It's been interesting. If you also look at somewhere around here, you see that we also got another level of buy here. But yes, the flow system has given us some really interesting buys in recent times on the pounds US. This has been clean, very clean movement, upsides. But the point is this. As at that time, be rest assured, the color of the background was definitely green, not red. But now that the market has altered, its color to a red background, it is now in line with maybe the current situation on pounds USD. Don't forget that the information we read suggested that the dollar is finding its footing in the market at the end of the week, becoming a stronger currency, and pounds losing value, pressure because of a miss in retail sales today, which means pounds USD is weaker compared to the dollar. If I was going to do anything with pounds USD today, I need to sell. I need to sell. So the red background now is a confirmation of the analysis I have just done. There is, a confirmation of the analysis I have just done. Now listen to this. Remember, the rule says you should sell when the next bearish candle, closes below the trigger line. The blue line you're looking at here is what we call the trigger line. It's called the trigger line. So when you talk about movement either above or below, we're talking about movements like this. When, bullish candle was able to close above this point, you should have gotten in on the buy. You saw what happened. This at this point as well, should have gotten in on the buy. That's what we mean by closing above the trigger line. The blue line that you see on the screen is what we call the trigger line. So we're talking about prices closing either above or below it is what we talk about entering into your trade in the market. But listen to this. What then do you do in situations like this? When price has even gone lower away from the trigger line, which means you cannot find another closure below the trigger line. So what then do you do? Does it mean you cannot sell this again? Because yes, I have gotten a lot of questions, from people who send messages saying, I saw a trade, I saw a move, I was supposed to enter into a sell, but price was not close to the trigger line, so I could not wait for a bearish candle to close below. Listen to this. You are not a robot. You are not a machine. You are not the indicator. The indicator is the one on the screen. You are the one controlling the indicator, which means you can clearly see that price has gone away from the trigger line. And what this means, naturally, is this. Price is now away. It means I might not be able to get in on further downsides by waiting for another candle to close below the trigger line. It already did here. The next bearish candle already closed below the trigger line here, and it has already sold. But eventually, now you're here, you want to enter into the position. You're then saying, I cannot trade it again because I have to wait first, because they said, you have to wait until the next bearish candle closes below. No. If you have other means of entry into positions in the market, the flow system has done a part of its job. It has at least let you know that the direction you have chosen, the downside bias you're holding is correct. It might not find an entry now. You can still use other means to find an entry. Why not consider maybe a resistance or something? We discussed support and resistance in one of the videos that we have on YouTube. Please check out our YouTube page, HFM Nigeria. A lot of, interesting webinars have been recorded for you to, enjoy at your leisure time. We've recorded a lot, trading gold and DAX. We've recorded trading dollar and USD index. Trading price section is there. Trading moving average and Fibonacci is there. So there's quite a lot of things you can soak yourself in when you go to, HFM Telegram channel, HFM YouTube page. It's there. Just search HFM Nigeria. So yes, I could consider, a different point of entry, maybe a resistance for now, so getting on further downside. The flow system has done its job. It has confirmed my bias, red background, confirming what I want to do. But now the price has moved away from the trigger line. Why would you then say I won't enter again until price goes back again to the trigger line? You can still get a downside from a resistance. The flow system is not going to be self-sufficient for you to trade. You cannot just put the flow system on your screen and then be blind and say it is only the flow system. It won't work that way for you. You could still get in on further downside on this asset. A push towards this resistance now can still offer you some, some other downsides in the market. If it's something you're really interested in, why not? If you're lucky, you get the signal as early as it comes. But when you're not there, the signal comes, price has now moved far away from the trigger line. You then say, it means I cannot enter it again. No, you can still get in. If you find another entry through maybe another price action in the market. And like I said, adjusting time frames using the flow system is allowed, which means you're not restricted to a single time frame. This is 1 hour, but I could also go to M30, see what I have, see if I have a different opinion, or if the flow system is okay, fine. The flow system is getting closer to, current price on the M30, which means, well, I could still get, some other things to do. But you can also see, one way or the other, there's almost a confluence now between your resistance point and the trigger line. Look at it. There is this, and there's the trigger line here, which means even if price is able to, offer us, a good movement back here towards the trigger line zone, if you find the next bearish candle close below the trigger line, enter into yourself, because that is the direction you have conceived from the market analysis. You can see that your knowledge of the market, your trading ability is not lost when you're using the flow system. It's not like maybe once you now have the flow system now, you then throw away every other thing you have. It's a trading tool. It's a trading tool for your usage. It is for you to adjust, to whatever way you want to adjust it, but still making the right decisions in the market. Let's look at some other charts, We did talk about, the antipodians also losing against the dollar. In fact, NZD is the weakest currency in the market. So let's see what's happening with NZD USD. Look at this. Ooh, some really interesting moves already, some really interesting downsides on the flow system for a sell, in recent times, prices are now getting stretched, but prices are far away from the trigger line. But at least, you know, the background color has then confirmed my bias on the asset. Yes, absolutely. My bias is confirmed. I want to sell because I know that NZD is the weakest currency in the market today. I'm also aware that dollar is the strongest currency in the market today. So if I'm looking at NZD USD, I'm looking for downside. I'm back on the flow system. I'm seeing a red background, confirming the direction or my bias is correct. But now price has moved, you know, a little bit far away from the trigger line. What then do I do? Look for entry in the direction of the market you want to take with other means. If you're able to use, you know, maybe a support or a resistance to get in, by all means. And if you're also able to get in through, you know, a signal on the flow system, by all means, as long as it aligns with your analysis in the market. Let me also say this. It is key to always understand that irrespective of the two that we're even talking about, they are subjected to your authority. Keep this in mind. Let's look at some other chart. You know, I was on a gold chart before, you know, when I came into class. Let's look at this. A lot of people are always interested in gold. Look at gold for a while. You know, the gold upside for a while has been enjoyable on the flow system. Look at how sweet you've gotten a lot of, you know, upside buy signals on the flow system when the background was still green. Look at all of this. Like, look at this. Absolute beauty. You know, some really interesting moves when prices, you know, move higher on the flow system. Well, anyway, let's look at current situations of things. You guys were taught about, you know, gold and dollar. In fact, it was posted on our YouTube page. You can always go and check. But we all know about the inverse relationship that exists between the gold and the dollar, which means, you know, with dollar trading as the strongest currency in the market today, you know, it's almost natural for us to expect that gold should be moving lower. And yes, gold is moving lower. Gold is selling. And the background on the chart is also suggesting the same, confirming the bearish bias on gold based on the strength of the US dollar in the market. If I was looking for further downside on this, price is a little bit away from the trigger line, which means I might not be able to expect that price will, you know, go back again and then get a bearish candle to close below the trigger line. But it does not stop me from looking for other points to which I can get in on downside on this asset, if that still remains the case for analysis in the market today. What that means is this. You know, I can adjust a little bit, see where I am on a 30 minutes time frame, and then check. You know, still some really nice levels of resistance, you know, up here. I mean, if you were still interested in a sell, you could still be interested in something like this for a continuation lower. It won't harm you. It won't do anything to you. You are still using the flow system. Don't get it wrong. You are still using the flow system. It's offering you help as a tool in the market. The flow system is a tool that I believe the traders who are interested in high probability entry into the market, you know, should look forward to getting. It's exclusive to HFM clients, so it means As long as you're a registered client of HFM, you can always get access to the HFM flow system. All you need to do, if you don't have it currently, is to reach out to your account manager, after the session. Tell your account manager you're interested in getting access to the HFM flow system. When you meet the requirement of getting access to the flow system, you're going to be sent the file, and this is how to install the file. All right, because a lot of people would always have, in a little bit of difficulty with installation when it comes to the flow system. But this is it, very simple. You're going to be sent a file. All you need to do is to download the file to your system, go to your file manager, and then copy the file. It's going to be flow, and the name of the trading account you provided for the flow system, it's going to be called flow something, flow and your trading account number. So download the flow indicator, sent to you, copy the folder, copy the indicator itself from the file manager. All you then need to do is come to your MT4. Please follow what we're doing. Go to File on the top of the screen. When you go to File, you then go to Open Data folder. You go to File, you go to Open Data folder. When this opens, you then go to MQL4. MQL4. Don't worry, this is going to be provided to you in written form. Whenever you request for the flow system, it's sent to you. We also had the steps to install in written form. We just want you to have this so that you can see the way we do it, and you can also follow suit whenever you want to replicate it for yourself, right? So when you go to File, you go to Open Data folder, you then click on MQL4, and then you go to Indicators. All you need to do here is to paste the flow system file sent to you that you've copied in the first place. So all you just want to do is do a Ctrl-V here, or just paste, the flow system tool sent to you. Just paste it into this folder. When you post it into this folder, please just close it. And then you also need to close your MT4. So you then have to close your MT4 and then restart it. So after pasting the flow indicator into the folder, the MQL4 indicator folder, close the MT4 entirely and then restart it. When you do that, to put the flow system on your screen, all you need to do is go to Insert. Look at Insert on the top of the screen, go to Insert, go to Indicators, then navigate lower to Custom. When you get on the custom, all you need to do is look for the flow that has your account number. You can see this is a lot of them because you just always use for examples, to people, but just look for the flow that carries your own trading account number. Click on it, press OK, and immediately loads the flow system for you. Now, when you load up the flow system, you can also save it as a template such that you don't have to keep loading it on every chart. What this means is you can easily go to template. You can just right click on your screen. You see template. You can just easily go to save template. That's one way to do it. Or there's even template already here on top of the screen. Just click on template and go to save template, whichever way you want to do it, and then save it as flow template. Press save. When you do this, such that when you go to maybe a chart that does not have the flow system, for example, okay, look at this. It doesn't have the flow system. And I want to put up the flow system on it, and I don't want to have to start going to insert indicators, go again to custom, load it again. You can easily just go to the template and click on the one that says flow template. Click on it. Immediately, it switches the screen. So it makes your work easier. It increases your productivity rather than trying to, just do it up and down. You understand, in the place of activating it and putting it on the screen, it's so simple. You want to install it, go to File, go to Open Data folder, enter into MQL4, go into your indicators, paste the file that was been sent to you, close out this page. Also ensure that you close out the MT4 and restart it. So you have to close out the MT4 and start it. Go to Insert, go to Indicators, navigate to Custom, click on the flow system that has your account number, press OK. When it loads, just go to Template, save it as a template, put in a name you want, either flow template, or you can also add your name, whichever one you want, save it. So every time you want to load it on an empty chart, it will be easier for you to do. Just go to an empty screen, load, flow template. Immediately switches off the screen. So that's one way you can also, do this. But please don't forget, one important thing that is key to all of this is that you need to conduct market analysis. If you look at this, you'd see the trajectory to which we started from. We started from the fact that you always have to conduct market analysis, do research, understand the current situations, the big news, the current catalysts, the drivers in the market, key and paying attention to strong, weak currencies, and all of that. We discussed about having to understand research timeframes, doing analysis, and then the flow system can then come in, high probability entry into the market. Key things that you need to understand when using the flow system. Also, a written way to install the flow system is also available to you. The process I just did is also available. You have to download the indicator, launch your MT4, click on file, then open data folder, click on your MKL4 folder, then paste the indicator into the indicator folder, right? Close your MT4 and then relaunch it. And then if you want to add it to the screen, you then, pull up your inserts to indicator, custom, and then pull up your flow system. And at the end of the day, you still have to manage your risk. The flow system is not foolproof. Like I said, like every indicator, it is still subjected to your usage. So it's not like maybe if you get, a very good high probability entry into the market using the flow system, you then believe that there is nothing that can happen again. You are going to, no, it does not work that way. You still have to, manage your risk accordingly. You still have to trade appropriate volumes, which means proper position sizing. Don't just go and increase your lot size because now you have the flow system. Maybe you used to trade 0.01, but now that you have the flow system, you decided to go 0.5. That's not what we're saying. The flow system is not going to give you that kind of confidence to do that kind of, risk sizing. No. So you still have to make sure that you're keeping your risk in check, trade appropriate volumes, still have your stop loss and you take profit on your trades. Very important. And also still making sure you take only the best trades. That's one thing that every client needs to have at the back of their minds. Your attention should always be, how can I get in on the best trade? How can I get in on the best trade? And how do you get in on the best trade? Paying attention to market analysis. Paying attention to market analysis. Conducting research, following the main story in the market, paying attention to a good entry, managing your risk. All of this helps you, to take the best trade. The flow system, once again, is available to every kind of HFM. All right. All you need to do is reach out to your account manager, express your interest in the flow system. He or she will tell you what you need to do to get the flow system. And then once you meet the requirement for the flow system, you're going to be granted access to the tool. All right. So we're going to be taking, time